We have some big news to share with everybody.
Are you ready?
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
We're adopting.
That's right. So, let's start at the beginning. Where's the beginning?
Where's the beginning?
So we're going to talk about three things. One is why we want to adopt. Two is why we want to adopt now. And the third one is more of the details about the adoption.
Right. So let's start with why we want to adopt in the first place.
Yeah. Why do we want to adopt?
Why do we want to adopt? So for both of us, even before we knew each other, before we started dating or got married, we both had a desire to adopt. That's right?
That's right.
Okay. If you ask my parents, if you ask anybody who's known me, it's always been something that I have had a passion for and have desired to do in the future, is something about adding to your family, not from just biological kids, but adding, like being there to take care of other children and have them in your home is something that I've always wanted to do.
Being able to make kind of a lifelong change for the better for a child who, through no fault of their own, lost their family or their family couldn't provide for them. To be able to take a child like that and give them a hope and a future and a safe place to grow up is something that we both have really wanted to do. So,
Yeah, that's true. It's also something that's really important to us in our faith, as we believe that God adopted us as His children. We too are called to provide and adopt other people into like our lives and our homes. And one way to do that is through adoption.
So the second question is, why do we want to adopt now?
We don't have any children of our own, and it is something that we do desire and that we hope one day that we will have. But we have also at the same time wanted to have adopted children.
Yeah.
And so whichever one comes first for us is just as equally exciting. And since we're of the age where we want to have children and we want to start a family, and we know that the adoption process can take a while, we decided that now is a good time to start the process.
We knew that the adoption could take a while, and we thought, well, if we know we want to adopt sometime in the future and it's going to take a few years maybe to actually finish the adoption, we should just start the process now so that in a few years, we're further down the trail and we can keep going with it. So last fall we started talking about it more seriously, and Katie has her way of just like, when she gets excited about something, just going and going and going ahead. And so, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Yes, you did.
But I have been asking Jason if we can go ahead and adopt kids since we got married, basically. Yeah. I've been fixated on it for quite some time. I just know now is the time for sure that we should move forward. Okay, keep going.
Back to what I was saying. She had gotten really far down of researching all of these agencies and knowing everything about it. And I barely had done any research, and we basically had to say, Katie, stop. And
we had to.
I had to tell Katie, stop. Let's get a hold of this. Let's make this decision together instead of you just running down the road. And so we found a book that we read together about adoption. It's called Adopted for Life. And we really enjoyed reading that book and learned a lot. And after reading it, we decided, okay, let's do this. And so we found some people who actually lived in Turkey and recommended an agency to us that they had used to adopt kids, and we thought, well, since we're living overseas and this agency knows how to work with people overseas, sounds like a great fit. And so we met with them, talked with them, and applied and got accepted. And so we are on our way.
Yeah, so the process of adoption looks different for everyone. We actually chose an international adoption instead of a domestic. There's lots of reasons people go with domestic or international, but from reading the book together and talking about it together, and because we live here, we just felt like adopting from like a country that's nearby Turkey is something that we wanted to do. It would be absolutely great if we could adopt from Turkey, but it's not an easy process.
It's basically impossible for us. That's what it really
We
comes
didn't
down
even
to.
try though, we don't actually know if it's impossible, but we've heard from
Everything we've heard.
that we've heard from other people who have lived here, like expats who want to adopt, and they want to adopt from Turkey. That is extremely difficult.
So we'll share a lot more details as we go along about more of the specifics about the adoption. We're still pretty early in the process, and so there's a lot of things we don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know who the kids are, how many kids we're going to get. A lot of these details we don't know. We're really excited about the adoption, and there's going to be ways that y'all can help us as well. Y'all, look at me.
Y'all.
I'm Southern.
We just really want you to be a part of this experience as we move forward. Your support and your encouragement is important to us. And we want to encourage other people too who want to adopt or who are looking at adoption but live overseas to consider it as well. Like, it doesn't, just because you live in another country doesn't mean that you can't adopt.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. So if you want to keep in touch with us during our adoption journey and get updated videos, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.